Today we'll be focusing in on key events for markets in the week ahead, French elections, hearing testimony from Chair Powell and also some commentary from the Bank of England. So just to build a little bit on the end of last week and the US unemployment report which the team discussed, I think it is worth just reflecting on some of the underlying trends that we're seeing there. In particular, if we compare the first quarter with the second quarter in terms of the number of jobs that the US economy has added. If we look at the first quarter, it was around 269,000. If we look then coming through to the second quarter, the monthly run rate more around 111,000. That just gives you some indication that some of that strength, that momentum that we were seeing in the US economy is starting to wane on the margin, and the unemployment rate ticking up there to 4.1%. All indicative just of a slowdown in the economy, nothing to worry about at this stage, but something that certainly we'll be monitoring as we move through the course of the year. But also importantly, what does it mean for the Federal Reserve in terms of their decisions on interest rates? And that maybe leads us quite nicely into the testimony that we'll hear through the course of the week from Fed Chair Jerome Powell when he is testifying at Congress and at the Senate on the delivery of the investment report. And that in and of itself will be a useful tool to see if he changes any of his language in terms of the focus on employment, inflation, and how that is all going into the melting pot of deciding what direction interest rates will take, and indeed when we will see the first reduction in the Fed's federal funds rate. We'll also hear through the course of this week maybe a few more snippets from the Bank of England. We have the chief economist speaking, and that will be important. We haven't heard from the bank through the electoral period where they don't tend to speak. So this will be the first indication where we'll get to see how they're assessing the underlying data and how that evolved through the month of June. The market certainly is pricing in one interest rate cut from the Bank of England in the coming months. Over to France then, this time last week we were talking about the outcome there, and indeed we've seen quite a reversal in terms of that with the National Rally Party, who were leading last week, if we remember back, have actually come in third place this time round, with the left-leaning party being the dominant party within the polls, and President Macron's coming out in the middle there. Now the key thing for that is really it brings about further uncertainty for markets. Really in France, the Eurozone's second largest economy, we now need to see really the discussions, the horse trading going on to form some form of coalition, or even if that is possible. So certainly will bring further volatility to markets. Also this week, I just wanted to touch on, finally, we'll start to hear the reporting season for the second quarter for US companies. That will be important given the strength that we've seen in markets and how companies themselves are assessing the outlook for the rest of this year. We'll leave it there for today. If you've enjoyed the content, please do click on subscribe and on the like button on YouTube. Many thanks.